We've had breakaways, we've had thrills, we've had spills, we've had some surprises, and we've had some, shall we say, a few more predictable outcomes. My name's Dave, and this is the Ride and Thrive podcast, with your look back at the last couple of stages of the Tour de France, and also a look forward to what this weekend holds in store. The accordion, by the way, was back by popular demand from one of my listeners. But I'm going to kind of leave it there, I think. Okay, so I'm going to start off with stage 6, which happened on Thursday the 10th. And it was a breakaway. It took a while to get going, but it was Ben Healy and Quinn Simmons who actually kept it going and got the actual the troops rallied, and off they went. And it was some esteemed company in the breakaway. Mathieu van der Poel and Simon Yates and Eddie Dunbar were there as well. It seemed like the peloton and Pogacar in particular were happy to let the breakaway go. He would seemingly hand out the yellow jersey to Mathieu van der Poel on loan, so to speak, because he knew he was going to get it back in the coming weeks, in the coming days. So the breakaway went away, and then with about 42 kilometres to go, it was Ben Healy who struck out from that for home. And he made it stick. The elastic broke, and they couldn't live with him. And in the end, they couldn't really organise themselves to chase him down. So actually, Ben Healy went on to win, which was a fantastic win for EF Education. And of course, Mathieu van der Poel was in there as well, but it was who came in second. It was Quinn Simmons from Little Trek who came in second, and then Michael Storer came in third. The peloton did rally towards the end, so they did close the gap a little bit, but it still meant that Mathieu van der Poel kept the yellow jersey, and with the green going to Jonathan Milan, and polka dot was Tim Wellens, and the white stayed with Remco Evenepoel. So a fairly standard breakaway day, and it's great to see some of these smaller teams, I say smaller teams compared to the big teams. The breakaway is really their chance to get their name out there, for the rider to get a little bit of glory, and for their sponsors as well, to keep the sponsors happy, to keep that money rolling in. So it's great to see a different name on the podium. So well done to Ben Healy. He's from Ireland, incidentally, and it was a fantastic ride by him. So then that led us on to stage 7. Well, stage 7 was from Saint-Malo to Mûr de Bretagne, and it was 197 kilometres. Now, the Mûr de Bretagne is like I'm not saying a mountain, it's a hill, and this was towards the end of the stage, and they were actually going around it twice, so they did it once, and they went round again and did it again. And it's not a massive hill, but there's some of the slopes are averaging 7%, and some of them are actually more than that, so significantly more than that. So it was going to be enough to tempt out the GC riders. It was the big three. It was Poggy, it was Jonas Vingegaard, and it was Remco Evenepoel that were fighting it out on those slopes. And it was great to see them slugging it out, trading blows. One would go, then the other would go. And it was... this is the predictable outcome. It was Poggy in the end. He kicked with about 200 metres to go. They were still going uphill, and he had too much power. Jonas Vingegaard actually did go with him. He stayed on his wheel. He couldn't get round him, but Pog did end up taking the win on stage 7, and it took back his yellow jersey, so he didn't loan it out for long. Jonas Vingegaard came in second, and a big shout out to Oscar Onley. He's a British guy. He's a Scottish, actually. And he came in third, and he's 7th overall on GC. He rides for Team Picnic Post. So a really good ride from him. And we're keeping an eye on him. I think it's his second tour, but he's doing all right. He's quietly coming through. So well done to Oscar Onley for coming in third. There was a crash, though, quite a bad crash. And unfortunately, it was the guys who had gone in the breakaway from the previous day. So... Ben Healy and Eddie Dunbar were involved in that. And Almeida, which is a UAE, one of Pog's domestiques, he was injured as well. but they got back up and rode on. So never like to see a crash, but yeah, luckily they were all okay. Unfortunately for Jack Haig, he did end up actually leaving the race for Bahrain Victorious. They had quite a bad day, Bahrain Victorious. So Jack Haig came down in that crash and he couldn't carry on, unfortunately. Other things of note, there was an early breakaway and it was Geraint Thomas was involved, which was great to see him getting out. And I've just seen his podcast, and he thought, I thought I'd have a go, Well, that's my Welsh accent. I thought I'd have a go. And but that was doomed to failure. That the peloton were never going to let that break get away. There was only 5 of them, so they couldn't really work that effectively. And they got out, I think the most they were out was a minute and a half, and the peloton wouldn't let them go any longer than a minute and a half away. So, but saying that, G did say that it was nice to get out of the peloton for the days. It's quite stressful in the peloton these days, he said, and it's nice to get out and just be in the break. And that was a bit refreshing for him. So that was a little side note to that. It was good to see him out there and doing his stuff, rolling back the years, so to speak. Okay, so that leaves us, I think I mentioned, with Pog in yellow, and it also Pog took the green jersey because, funnily enough, this was classed as a sprint stage, even though it was an uphill finish. So there was quite a few points on offer for the first one across the line. So that meant that Pog, I think it was 50 points. So Pog ended up with the green jersey as well. Tim Wellens has kept the polka dot jersey because there's nothing really in there of that. And the white stays with Remco Evenepoel. So we're leading in to Saturday, just looking at my notes here, Saturday the 12th, which is Saint Mien Le Grand to Laval. So this is a nailed on sprinters stage. It's flat all the way. It's 171 kilometres. It's kind of like a transition stage, if you like. So I know that Geraint Thomas has said that the peloton is quite stressful at the moment, but this is will be probably as least stressful as it gets. Probably be an interesting finish, slightly uphill, but still one for the sprinters. So I'm backing. Who am I backing? Tim Wellens, I think, or Biniam Girmay, maybe. Tim Wellens or Biniam Girmay, or no, not Tim Wellens. Jonathan Milan, I've written down. Jonathan Milan. Or Girmay to take the win. It's a technical finish, so they do a bit of a U-turn, so hopefully we won't see any crashes. I say tomorrow, it's later on today because I'm recording this on the Saturday. So that's it for now, guys. I'm going to do another catch up on Sunday night to talk about the weekend stages. And let me know what you think of the podcast, guys. I do want your feedback. Be very gentle. Like I say, this is an experiment for me, the kind of new format of doing this. So I'm just learning the ropes, so to speak. Okay, guys, bye for now.